Somehow, over the past few years, serving your country, putting your life on the line for the sake of this nation, has become almost demonised instead of honoured and celebrated. No one would understand this better than those who served in Afghanistan. The men and women who served in the SAS have had their experience hijacked by controversies and allegations, and they've had their own story essentially wiped from existence. However, there is a documentary being put together to try to change this, to reclaim the narrative, to give a voice to the overwhelmingly brave majority who did nothing wrong but fight for their country. Have a little look.
So I think after 9/11, just to the nature of what happened, I think the groundswell was right behind us.
I rolled around with the US and continued to conduct high-value targeting operations with them.
There's always, let's get the job done, and that was just something that shone through, on a daily basis, even though it was really tough.
And when you achieve all of that and you bring all your people home and you've had a great effect on the battlefield, that's a fairly great feeling, and it makes you feel good, satisfied to be a part of that.
Okay, joining me now are two of the faces you just saw, former SAS soldiers, Vando and Morts. We can't give their full names just for security reasons. Both of you, welcome to the show. Really grateful. Thank you so much for coming on. Vando, I'll start with you. Why are you doing this?
Thank you, Erin, and thank you for this opportunity. We are doing this really for two reasons. First of all, it's the right thing to do, and secondly, it's the right time to do it. The story of the SAS and our experience in Afghanistan has not been told in its entirety, and it certainly has not been told by us. This is such an important chapter in our Anzac legacy that it deserves to be accounted for accurately and completely, and we fail the next generation if we don't do that.
Morts, did you ever in your lifetime think that this country would go through what you'd call a Vietnam take two, that we would ever treat those who are willing to give their life for this nation the way that we did back then and the way that we have in so many ways more recently?
I certainly wouldn't have thought that, no. And I guess history does repeat itself. And the fact that it's occurred again and it's happened to us, it certainly it brings it home. The impact is very confronting. No, there's no doubt about that.
What do you think the reaction will be to this, and particularly from those currently serving and those in power, your kind of top-tier brass?
Look, it's so hard. So soldiers don't fight wars. Soldiers don't start wars. We fight wars. We do our duty. Whether it's misguided or mishandled, that's not us. We just did the best that we could. What we're hoping to show is those aspects. There's so many dimensions to this story that need to be heard, and it's just gone unsaid for so long that we've felt it's on us now to get the story out, as Vando alluded to just briefly.
Vando, what is the number one thing that you want people to know about what you guys did in Afghanistan?
Erin, I think we want to achieve two things with this. The first is that, really we want to tell it in our own words, and allow the everyday Australian to make up his or her mind about what happened over there. And then, secondly, we want our veterans to hold their heads high and regain some sense of pride in their service. And we have stood in a long shadow of Afghanistan for too long. It is time to bring those veterans who served with distinction back into the light. We fail them if we do not.
Oh, I could not agree with you more, and you both know that I talk about this a lot on this show. The thought of anyone who served with distinction, who bravely put on the uniform, went overseas to fight for our nation, feeling even one iota of shame breaks my heart, and it is such a failing on us as a nation that they feel that way. What have you seen the impact of some of the negativity been on the people themselves?
I think after so long doing what we did, bearing in mind that the war was for 20 years, and some people went there at 10 times, they gave so much of themselves. They sacrificed families and a whole range of things, and to see it come to what it did, that's hard to take. But then also to see, mainstream media catching bites the way that they did, you know, essentially dragging us all down. Like it's every day is a bit of a struggle in trying to put that into some form of perspective. We spend too long looking in the rearview mirror, you know, dwelling on those aspects of the past. We should be absolutely proud, but that's not the case.
I want to ask both of you this same question to finish off. I'll start with you, Vando. Who has failed you?
I think that's a pretty complex and multi-layered question. But I will say this: accountability and responsibility for a nation at war sits with everyone. You know, we are a functioning democracy. It means everyone has a vote. Your vote sends its soldiers to war, and that is the start point for accountability. It then rests with politicians. It rests with military generals. It rests with battlefield commanders, and it rests with soldiers. We are all in this together. It just does not pass the pub test to simply scapegoat the soldier, you know, at the coalface.
Absolutely, it's been shameful. Morts, what about you, just quickly?
I think the same. So war is a national endeavour. We all signed up to it in some way, shape or form. I think we had 5 elections during that period of time. Not once was Afghanistan any kind of issue that should have been taken to the election. So we went about it every day. So I don't think we can point the bone at anything in particular. We have to take collective accountability for that. And I think as a nation, if we don't do that, then we risk the chance of doing this again in the future.
We also make it pretty hard for anyone else to want to join the military if you're a young person and you're watching what has occurred. And I'll make this really clear now. Any wrongdoing by any soldier, we absolutely have to call out, and they must be accountable for every day of the week. This isn't about that. It's about the overall perception that now exists in the community that every single Australian soldier over there has done the wrong thing and that we should hang our heads in shame, which is absolutely untrue. Now, you guys, I don't normally ask my viewers for money, not directly anyway, but you need more money to finish this documentary. And it's rare that I would do this, but I'm saying if anyone wants to get involved, if anyone wants to donate, go to this website. It's up on your screen at the moment. And please give what you can, because these guys, these servants of our nation, deserve their story to be told. Their stories of honour, of bravery, of integrity, the way they helped and cared for local people, the story that hasn't been told in enough detail yet. So I thank you both so much for coming on. I know that what you're doing will come with some backlash. I know that it will be difficult for you to speak, but it is brave, and I thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Erin. Appreciate having us on your show. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.